one shot, one kill. Is what I wanted to say playing Marksman. And it's actually what I said! Oh damn, those aim shots! Well yeah, it happens on non-elite mobs. But hey you! Yeah you! If you wanna stay really far and shoot people in between the eyes with massive crits, then this is the video for you because it has the talents, gear rotation and everything that you need for raids and Mythic Plus. Starting off with the talents. Starting off with the first row, you will take Master Marksman. What this does is make your next arcane or multi-shot after casting an aimed shot free to cast while getting the extra damage from precise shots. You want to spend as little focus as you can on filler spells like this, so this talent works great. Plus, it synergizes with future talents and Azurite traits. Second row, we take Careful Aim. This makes your aim shot hit like a speeding truck with no brakes on high and low HP targets, giving you a boost at the beginning of the fight and also on execute phases. Level 45 row is one of the utility rows, and as utility rows go, take whatever you want as long as you can take full advantage of it. I would recommend Natural Mending. It's the most used by the community and provides the necessary sustain in high-end content. As a hunter, you are probably less prone to make mistakes because of your range and mobility. And this, well, paired up with all of your other defenses and utility, essentially assures you that you won't die. Level 60 you have two options. For maximum single target damage, which is raiding or tyrannical bosses that you want down quick, take Hunter's Mark. It's a bitchy boring talent to use, yeah, but it does provide the most damage on the row as long as you have 100% uptime on it, which shouldn't be an issue in raids. For dungeons or AoE, take Streamline, making rapid fire last longer. Couple this with a trick shot effect and you shouldn't have issues in AoE. Level 75 is the other utility row, and although you can follow the previous argument, I recommend you take Post Haste in raids, since you will need short bursts of mobility on regular boss fights. In dungeons, Binding Shot is the bee's knees. It gives you control over the packs as long as you are in tune with your tank. On necrotic weeks, this can help the tank kite and drop those nasty stacks. Next up, the level 90 row gives us only one option, and that is Double Tap. It's essentially the best choice on the row. It works well in burst windows, both single target and AoE. Not much to say here, except that it's the most DPS out of the row. Last tier we take Calling the Shots. This lets us reduce the cooldown of True Shot, which is our major DPS cooldown. This works with Master Marksman, since you get to use more arcane and multi-shots throughout the fight on the grounds of some being free of focus. This also lets you use True Shot more often in high keys, giving you more consistency on big pulls, either being the season affix or just your tank's strategy. I will tell you the general stat priority from which you need to build your character up. If you plan on min-maxing, doing mythic raiding or pushing high keys, you should always sim your character. The general accepted stat priority is eye level above all else, meaning weapon DPS and agility, followed very closely by mastery. After that you want haste, crit and versatility. Getting a lot or not enough of a specific stat will change the balance and weight of your stats. As an example, here are my stat weights. I have very low levels of mastery, so much that I have to sack eye level on rings to get more mastery. This is why it's important to sim, if at least you will understand how your spec functions and what it needs to go even further beyond.
Is to go even further beyond!
Since 8.2 is pretty close, we will have a new set of trinkets, yet untested, and the trinket meta will probably settle a week or two into the new raid, which is still at least a month away. As such, as a general rule of thumb, when picking trinkets, sim them, or align them with your stat priorities. But since humans work better when shit is organized, here are a few trinkets you can aim for. When raiding, take Lurker's Insidious Gift from Crucible and Kimball's Razor Claw from the Conclave bosses, since they seem to perform the best. When dungeoning, take Gale Caller's Boon and Harlan's Loaded Dice, both dropping from Mythics, Shrine of the Storm and Freehold respectively. As far as Azerite traits go, this is the meat of this section. I am seeing a couple of builds here and there at the high end, so if you raid Mythic or push plus 15 keys or higher, sim and practice your traits. To start with though, you should aim for a specific combination of traits that will generally perform the best. Into the Rhythm is the first such trait that buffs rapid fire to give you a big haste boost at the end of its cast. You can stack this 3 times, but I recommend getting it only twice, since the third trait doesn't give as much as other options. Keep in mind that this buff does not proc if the target dies midway through your rapid fire or if you stop casting it for any reason, which is a pain, but something you gotta handle. Second trait you want to stack twice is Unerring Visions, that boosts your true shots, give you an increasing crit buff for its duration. Since you'll be playing at reducing true shots cooldown a lot, this is ideal. The other 2 slots can be filled by 1 Focused Fire and 1 Surging Shots. These 2 work amazing with just 1 of each, but you won't always have the ideal setup, so you can equip these traits in any combination as long as you strive for the one just mentioned. For secondaries, take Overwhelming Power with Priority or any other stat-giving trait. Defensives, Resounding Protection is always solid, and Nature Salve is a cool one that works great with the Natural Mending talent. Marksmanship Hunter is a bit pretentious with the rotation, and there's already a general community accepted rotation that you can and should practice. The only time you would divert from this is if you get future traits that are different or talent changes or a lot of haste. Until then, here's what you need to know. The general priority system is like this. You want to keep double tap on cooldown as much as possible with rapid fire. If you're in the careful aim windows, you should use double tap with aimed shot instead. Use aimed shot on cooldown as long as you don't have precise shots to consume on arcane shots. Use rapid fire on cooldown. Cast arcane shot to spend those precise shot buffs, and if you need to fill in while waiting for other cooldowns, since it works well with our calling the shots talent. And generate focus with steady shot. The rotation changes when you have true shot up. Before going into true shot, ideally you want to have a rapid fire casted before so you can get that haste buff from Into the Rhythm Azerite traits. You shouldn't delay true shot for this, but you should make sure you won't cast true shot if you're not at least 80 focus. After those conditions are met, cast true shot. If you have the focus I mentioned, you should be able to cast 3 aim shots, each followed by a free arcane shot. After this, cast a rapid fire, and finish with 2 more aim shots and 2 arcane shots in between. Depending on your haste levels, this priority can be easier or more difficult to manage. The only difference between single target and AoE, as a general rule, is that you want to have trick shots enabled before every aim shot and rapid fire, which means you only AoE with 3 or more targets. This also means that sometimes you will just start with multi-shot and you replace every instance of arcane shot mentioned with multi-shot. Let's talk about the opener. Around 10 seconds before the pull, you press double tap, since the buff lasts for 15 seconds and its cooldown is actually triggered the moment you press it and not the moment you consume it. Apply Hunter's Mark, and 2 seconds before the pull, cast aimed shot followed swiftly by a rapid fire. This will give you the haste buff to go into your true shot rotation, which you just saw earlier. This is pretty much the rotation. Getting more haste can help you squeeze 1 or 2 more globals into true shot, and there are even more nuances you can perfect by playing and practicing a lot. Shout out to the True Shot Lodge Discord channel for their research and theory crafting. I wish I could say I came up with all of this by myself, but the Hunter community has done an amazing job at pulling the resources together. Now let's move on to the consumables. As always, the consumables you use should match your stat priorities. So by default, take Pact of Mastery Enchant for rings and Masterful Title Amethyst for gems. When enchanting your weapon, take Monolite Scope of Alacrity or simply Masterful Navigation, depending on your mastery levels. You can also get the Incendiary Ammunition, but again, you would need to test or sim it to see which is better. For food, eat a feast or a sausage, the blood kind. Agility is still better and the raw stat amount will always be higher in these than regular food. Lastly, use the Flask of the Current and Battle Potion of Agility when pushing yourself in tough content. Do you like shooting stuff from afar, but sometimes get lonely? Well, fear not, because we have the Beast Mastery Guide for you, equipped with everything you need to know about talent gear rotation, hopping into Dungeons and Mythic Plus right away. Shout out to our patrons for their continuous support. We love and appreciate you bastards. And if you want to support and give more to your favorite power couple in WoW, check the details down below. Have you ever gone out with your friends, looked at your shirt and said, "This isn't a cool shirt"? Well, let us give you a helping hand, because Marcelian&Online has some really cool gear for you down in our official Teespring link. Deck yourself with awesome t-shirt, tank tops, hoodies and mugs, 100% drop chance guaranteed. Thanks for watching the video and have an amazing day.